think it's just when I'm on.
No, it's when Leroy's on too. It's just been like this. I don't know why. Ooh, Bubba's rocking his Houston Astros hat. Look at that. Let's get the new World Series lid. I figured out what's wrong with your camera, by the way.
What?
I just had to increase the ISO.
Gotcha. Because I'm like, I know that thing is not pointing directly at me before.
Yeah. A lot of people on YouTube. Holy moly. Oh, 21 on YouTube? No. There's some. Oh, 5. There we go. It's Facebook. Sorry for being late, folks. It's my fault. I didn't give Olivia enough praise.
Well, we were playing Diablo. And we got late to get in the soundtrack.
Yeah. That's true. Keep your mouth near the mic. Can't hear you. Amy's going to tell you guys how we bicker when we get back on. So that's going to be the intro of our Saturday. She's going to explain it and give her analysis of what love really is when it comes to us. Amy probably has her own little tips with Jason, I would assume. Amy's laughing.
Hi, Matthew. It's Judge Janine, and I wanted to congratulate you on the Don't Unfriend Me show at the Dumb Show. I was thinking about that whole thing the other day.
Doesn't have the impact
it was
used to,
right
huh?
after Donald Trump was elected that everybody on the left started unfriending anyone on the right. So I'm glad you're calling them out. You've got a great name for the show. And I hope that you're true to the values, conservative values, Republican values, and that you call those people out. I think it's great. And I know you've got 135,000 followers. I hope you get a lot more. And just keep the faith. Keep fighting. I think we may get America back. But in the meantime, we've got a steep hill to climb. And you're one of the fighters, one of the patriots. So thank you for what you're doing.
Percival Flag Company, folks. Behind me, behind Olivia, you will see some wooden flags. They are all made by Percival Flag Company. PFCflags.com. Give them a check out and let me know. Also, it is Red Friday, folks. We didn't do it on last Friday or yesterday, so we got to do it today. Here it is, Red Friday. It's Red Friday, folks.
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. The movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
All right, everybody. It's not Friday, but
mother of pearl.
We didn't get it yesterday. Did you lock up? Amy, how come you always lock up right when we start? And look at Amy. Look at her smile. She's just smiling. And all right, I'm going to punt her. I punted her. She'll be back. Olivia. Oh, yes. There's Amy. She's back already. Look at this. Dude, it's a curse, Ames. Hello? Amy? Amy? Oh, dude. I got to go. We got to go set it up tomorrow. Let's go set up her camera.
Okay.
Let's head on over there. She's going to call again. Hold on. We got to get Amy back on here. There she is. Amy. Hey, buddy. That always happens. We're going to, Olivia and I just said, we're going to go to breakfast. We're going to go to breakfast and then we're going to come over and redo your camera. Yes. Is that cool?
Yeah. So I had a girls' day with Fiona. Yes, it was Friday. And she wanted to go to Tammy's. So we went. I was going to text Olivia, but we drove by her house. I didn't see her car there. So I was like, they're probably not home. So.
Oh, she doesn't have that.
I don't have it
She doesn't have that car anymore.
Oh. Well, then.
That,
should have texted
that,
you.
that company
Sorry.
is really hurting now. I mean, first they cut me, and now they just cut her.
I was making $1,200 a month, and they cut me for financial reasons.
Reasons.
That's
Pretty pathetic,
that's
right?
yeah, pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I'm like,
Wow.
and then he started trying to strong arm her, and I'm like, listen, prick, no, I don't work for you anymore. So if you think you're going to talk to my wife that way, no. Well, what did I do? Yeah, you know what you did. Because he's like, I need you to take an Uber down here to Annapolis or drive the vehicle down, and then you can take an Uber back. I'm like, that's going to be 4.5 hours. There's no, and you let her go, and you expect her to work for you for free. You bald-headed, freaking middle-aged douchebag who needs testosterone more than any other human being I've ever met in my life.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he, I hope he still watches the show. Brian, fuck you. All right, sorry. I'm not going to cuss for the rest of the night. I promise.
Also, I wanted to
think
say I have a Percival flag behind me too.
Yeah, you do. Percival Flag Company. That's right. Amy has one too. We all have one. Now, the Don't Unfriend Me sign was actually made by a very cool company called Patriot Wood. Totally different type of flag. These are more vinyl with like 3 stacks, and they look like a layered cake. So they have that 3-dimensional look. They're awesome too. Patriot Wood's awesome. But go to pfcflags.com. Olivia, what have we been doing? Well, first of all, Amy, can you describe Olivia and I's off-camera relationship and what it reminds you of?
Maybe like a little bit of Lucy and what's his name?
Desi?
Desi,
Ricky.
Richie.
Yeah, Ricky.
Ricky.
Ricky and Lucy.
Lucy, you
It's-
got some splaining to do.
Yeah, it's very. I love you too. Shut my door. Thank you. Sorry, my kids are.
It's okay.
Ooh,
It's
they
all
are
right.
wired. I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Love you. Shut my door.
I treat
Sorry.
Olivia like a stagehand, and she doesn't
Yeah.
she doesn't tolerate it, and she has no right to tolerate it. She has listen. I know. I'm well aware. Like any other time, it's like I love you, and you're so pretty. Like today was great. I'm so proud of you, and she has a new job lined up that looks like.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about that.
No.
job
I'm
yet.
just saying it looks really, really good, and
No,
like
no jinxing. Just
Okay.
Yeah.
knock on
that's
wood,
great.
possible.
I wanted
But either
to
way,
too.
I'm just so. And then when we get on here, it's like, hey, grips person, get the light, get up, get down, sit down, left, right. And she's just like, you know what, fuck you, man. And I get it. I get really demanding because I want to get on the show. We want to get it going, you know. And
I will say this
I-
to Liv's credit. Like she's always so patient and calm with you, and I just.
you're such a liar.
That's not true. She's literally so patient. I would have, like, if Jason was speaking to me that way and it was like a heated argument, like a heated moment, I would give him a lot of grace too. But I think I would have a lot to say afterwards.
Oh no, I get it. I trust me, I hear it. Like the camera comes off and I get a lecture, right?
Yeah.
And then I've got to apologize. It's not all the time, but it is enough that it gets stressful. Like if you see us come on 15 minutes late, trust me, I have been very, very frustrated. There's no doubt. I still think you don't give Olivia the credit she deserves with the looks and the silent comments, and then also the other comments that you can't hear picked up on the mic. Olivia, are you going to say anything? You just sit there like a princess, like you always do, and pretend to everybody you're perfect and don't do anything to antagonize the situation.
I'm checking the hockey and basketball stores, and that's more important.
You literally, you do this all. You know, it's fine. I'm used to it. You know, you did it with your mom. You did it with my mom, family. It's okay. Olivia's a princess. She's perfect. I am the mean, grumpy. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and she's the stagehand.
Basketball's on tomorrow. Hockey's on right now.
Why is it basketball and it's 3 nights off, 2 nights off?
Maybe because
Why do they do this? Why do
because
they?
they're a bunch of babies and they need more days off.
God, what a
between their
bunch of
games.
pussies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't play 2 nights in a row. I mean, dude, hockey.
No.
Oh, whatever. This is so stupid.
I was gonna say I think the power outage messed up my camera because I look blurry.
No, you don't. You look great.
Oh.
So
I think you
but
look good. Do you
crooked.
I look blurry?
Do I look crooked? I don't know.
See, I'll come back and tell you what's going to happen if I don't do this.
I'm not gonna say anything. I just
You just did.
no. I look crooked. I'm not in the center.
Do you want to fix it yourself?
No.
You do not look crooked.
Okay.
See, of course, Amy's got nothing to say about that one. Matt gets up, tries to go fix her camera. She's like, I didn't say anything. Yes, you did. But see, men have a different
Don't drag me into
algorithm. We have a different algorithm that pisses us off. Women go,
You know what it
guys,
is?
you can't. What's that?
Because men are fixers and you guys don't say anything. you just do stuff without us saying anything. Like we'll
Yeah.
complain and then you guys
Yeah.
will fix it and we're still complaining. I think that's just how.
Oh, but that's okay, right? But I sound like Bill O'Reilly, but she's yeah. See,
I didn't say that.
yeah, well, you didn't say after the show Matt's going to have some things to say. You just said that she has some things to say. It's okay. Listen, sexism is well in full effect on this show. It's okay. I get it.
You're outnumbered today. Sorry.
I know who I am. I know. You heard me say it. I'm like, I know who I am, and I am tough to please and work for. Are you happy with your picture? Because it looks really good right now.
You suck.
Okay.
You jackass.
Okay. So why don't you guys just do the show, and I'll go down and play Diablo where I'm happiest. Olivia, do you want to talk about our last couple days and what we're doing?
We've been playing Diablo, and that's about it. I haven't done much of anything else.
I will officially say that Diablo is probably one of the best games that I've ever played. It's pretty awesome. Now, Olivia, everyone goes, okay, well, Matt likes hockey and Olivia likes hockey. Therefore, Olivia likes hockey because Matt likes hockey. Maybe that was initially true, but
I've always liked sports. I've always watched sports.
She's an avid hockey fan.
I was a jock, and I still am. I played sports in high school and middle school. Watched them. Yeah.
Okay.
That was me.
So Diablo, this is how funny it is. It's like, hey, Diablo's coming out. And so what do I do? See, I don't get credit for this. What came in the mail 2 days ago?
New controller. A pink controller.
Yeah. Didn't tell her, didn't do anything. But the new PS5, the one that's 7-8 years old, no, that's not a real controller. But this one is high end. I mean, the vibration, if something's on your right or your left, and it's just ergonomically, it's a better, more responsive control. She's like, I'll just play with the old one. And I'm like, I can't have that. Olivia likes Diablo. So I went and got her a pink control and found a pink control, one of the only ones on Amazon. And those are the things that I do. So we're playing and she's like, we're going to go play Diablo. She's like, okay. So she comes down, she starts playing Diablo. We're playing, right? And we must have, launch night was horrible because it wasn't going and it was blocked out. So everyone was pissed off. And we finally just said, screw it, went to bed, got up, played in the morning, and we played all damn day.
We got on that night.
Whatever. Maybe we got on that night. Whatever.
We did on.
You're right. You're right. We played, loved it, played till midnight, went to bed, woke up, played all damn day, and then had dinner, saw the kids, rubbed them on the head a little bit, watched Lost. And then at 9:30, and the kids usually go to bed. Ethan's 10 o'clock on a Friday. Hayden's usually 11. And Olivia goes, I think it was 9:30 at night. And Ethan's like, I'm tired. She's like, you're tired. It's time to go to bed. And she starts shoveling. Come on, Ethan, let's go. Let's get a shot. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? There's not school or anything. And she's like, come on. And then Hayden goes, oh, I'm tired too. She goes, you should go to bed too. And gets them both up and starts, okay, come on. All right. And then they're talking, they do hugs. And then she's halfway downstairs. Halfway. She's like, good night. Go tuck yourself in. Good night. And she's ready to play. And I will tell you, Olivia is officially addicted to Diablo. Liv?
I like the
what's-
game. But
For
I don't
us
do that very
non-gamers,
often.
what is Diablo? Because I have no idea.
Okay. Basically, you fight Satan. I mean, I could say it a lot of different ways, but you, it's done in the days of dwarves and trolls and demons and magicians and warriors and goblins, and so it's very fantasy based. If your audio isn't working, leave and come right back. That's the best way to do it. See, Paul goes, pink, Matt, such a sexist. See, there it is.
Pink's my favorite color.
Yeah.
Pink is my favorite color.
Pink is mine too. So, and we paid a pink tax because it was $5 more than the white controller. That's racist. Anyway, so I'm playing Diablo 4, and that's basically all it is. It's a dungeon crawler. You face ungodly amounts of different stuff, from demons to barbarians to rogues to whatever, and you have to dungeon crawl through this immense world, and there's ungodly amount of combinations of what type of specials you can have. It's incredible. Like the last one, I think I put in 1,700 hours, Olivia and I, between the two of us, and that was over 10 years. So,
I didn't start playing that one till the kids did last
yeah, but
year.
I did both of us together. So, 170 hours a year It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. So over 10 years, so, you're averaging, 12, 13 hours a month. And for somebody who works as much as we do, and I do, but we loved it. I mean, it's a fantastic game. We'll probably do the same thing here. Anyway, so Diablo's fun. Go and get it. Quickly, Amy, what did you do this weekend? Anything fun and exciting?
My daughter had her dance recital today. It was great. That's really it. And yeah. Oh, if you guys aren't busy tomorrow, we're having, I say we, Jason's out of town, but I'm having over some people, just some moms, mostly moms. There might be some dads and then kids. We're just going to do lunch and hang out in the creek, and you guys are welcome to join us. I'm going to provide lunch.
Yeah, we're going to play. Do you have Diablo at your house?
We don't even know.
No, we're not going to be coming.
We have a couple of video games.
We're going to play Diablo.
I don't know.
I'm going to come over and fix your camera, and then we're going to play Diablo. Yeah. Fix your camera, leave, go play Diablo. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it's going to be for a while, because it's Olivia and I. Now, I was all about it. There was something that they were doing, a race to 1,000 on hardcore. So the first 1,000 people to hit 100 on hardcore. Hardcore is if you die once, you have to start all over. And to get to 100, I mean, we're talking 40, 50 hours worth of work. So the first, and I've done it before, and I was like all about it. And I guarantee, because I love those type of things. And then they're giving away a statue of one of the characters signed and autographed by all the players. It would be really cool. And the only PC players had it for the first 2 hours, and because they couldn't get console to work. So everyone is at a disadvantage. There's just no way you're going to catch up. I mean, like, you have to start and not stop for like a day and a half in order to win. Wow. We did it with Halo. I was the first person in North America to get 1,000 points on Elder Scrolls, and I love my games. I'm a fun gamer. All right, sorry, you just keep talking about games. Sorry. Anyway, Amy's eyes are glossing over. So.
I just don't know. The last video game I played was it was probably 20 years ago. Besides, like, Mario Kart, I played Mario Kart. I played it's Madagascar.
Holy crap. Yeah. That's old school. That was on a PS1, I think.
Yeah.
Or N64
I think it was
or
Sega,
some shit.
actually, that I played it on. So
Sega, Madagascar? I don't think so. Maybe.
I don't remember.
It could be. We'll take a look. Oh, Colleen. You know what, Colleen? When we're on, you're bitching, and when we're not on, you're bitching.
Yeah.
Jeez, boring. Ugh. Oh, sorry we can't entertain you. Hey, I got an idea. I could whop out my wanker and slap it on the table if you'd like, Colleen. Would that make you excited and make your day for you? Jeez.
Please don't do that.
Liv, you should take your bra off on camera. That'll probably make Colleen.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though.
All right, here it is.
Tonight, what we're
she's not wearing.
Yes, I'm wearing a bra.
Yes, that's boring. That's boring. All right, so
we have a friend over tonight, so yes, I'm wearing a bra.
Yeah, we've got a Hayden's friend. Colleen, you're bitching. You got half of that sentence correct. Trump versus DeSantis heats up. It is officially on, like Donkey Kong. Got a couple things about DeSantis and Trump. All of it's kind of connected. Kayleigh McEnany versus Trump. He has we know this. Donald Trump turns on everybody on a long enough timeline. He says loyalty is important, but doesn't necessarily give it. He went after Kayleigh McEnany pretty hard. It's going to be interesting to see. Biden, horrendous debt ceiling address. My God, I got the whole thing here for you. It's terrible. And then he followed that up by taking a spill on his commencement address at the Air Force. So we're going to talk about that. And we have a parody video that you all would enjoy. Let's get to it. We got a lot to do. Amy, your thoughts? Anything else you wanted to talk about this show? Or?
No, no. You guys know it's my life's been it's been so nuts. I think I'm gonna my girlfriend is a news reporter, so I'm gonna talk to her about doing a story, not just about my life, but I have two other friends who have gone through similar situations, and I think it should be like a real story.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this pans out, because I can't believe this is still going. All right, well let's get into this. So there are definitely multiple sides of Donald Trump. We all agree with that. Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been pretty funny lately, I think.
Well, So let's talk about that, because I've seen a side that most people haven't seen without the news crews and working with veterans and seeing him take a knee with a double amputee veteran friend of mine, African-American, Marine Corps, and was receiving honors at Andrews. And we were, I don't know, 150 feet away, but that was pretty moving to me. And I've seen him do other things. It seems like when he needs to be at his best, he's at his worst. And when he doesn't, he's fantastic. I don't know why. But I want to show you the two different sides of Trump. And, you know, this is interesting to me because the dichotomy is definitely something to think about. Now, people are obviously making up excuses, which was what everyone does, saying, oh, well, this is election season. This is just Trump. No, this is just Trump. And this is the way he is. And it's okay. But turning on Kayleigh McEnany, it's McEnany, by the way, but everyone says McEnany. But if you have any Irish or Scottish blood, it's McEnany. Okay, but we're just going to say McEnany, and I don't want to hear any corrections. But or if you want to do corrections, I don't care either. But I want to show you, first of all, and this is where I am not doing the Trump 24, he'll be back. Okay, I'll put the promo on there. Folks, if you want to get your bobblehead, the Trumpinator, it's available for you right now for the low price of way too much damn money. But here's Trump being asked about Joe Biden's trip. Has everyone seen the Joe Biden trip?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
sad.
So people are saying, hey, Joe Biden whacked his head, but that's not going to do anything. I mean, honestly, that's kind of like in Robin Hood Men in Tights when Blinken runs into the tree and he's like, I can see. And then he turns around and smacks into a guy. He's like, oh, nope, never mind. This is Biden that we thought maybe had knocked some sense into him. But I want you to listen to Trump here. And we've asked for Trump to be magnanimous. And honestly, this isn't magnanimous. This is human. And this is the way he should be. But this is so far out of the scope for what we see from Donald Trump. But this is a nice thing. And he could have taken a pot shot, but he didn't. Listen to this.
He's at the Air Force Academy. He actually fell down. Well, I hope he wasn't hurt. I hope he wasn't hurt. But it's the whole thing is crazy. You got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about that because you don't want that. Even if you have to tiptoe down a ramp, you got to tiptoe.
See, he made fun of himself there. So, I mean, that's good because he got flamed for tiptoeing down the ramp. And you're like, okay, well, that's the Trump I want to see, right? Who genuinely, yeah, this is my competitor, but I don't hate Joe Biden. And he doesn't hate Joe Biden. I promise you he doesn't hate Joe Biden. That's his competition. He doesn't hate Ron DeSantis. This is just Trump. But when it's at its worst, he could have been like, oh, well, that you can expect more of that if you guys put him in office for 4 years, but he didn't. That was a very good statement. It showed that he actually is human, and that's what we need to see from him. And then he does shit like this. So on Truth Social, it says Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany. By the way, that's not how you spell milk toast. If anyone knows how to spell milk toast, it's Milquetoast. And it's a participle of French. And milk toast basically means soft, kind of bland, a person who is not hard-hitting, doesn't take a stand, and kind of rides the middle. Just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. I am 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25. While 25 is great, it's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars.
Wow, he turns on people real quick.
Yeah, real easy,
Yeah.
real quick. And that woman carried water for him a long time.
Yep.
And stood up there as press secretary and did an amazing job. Sure, she's at Fox, but you know what? People are like, oh, well, she's two-faced because all she cares about is her job at Fox. Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't you? So, Amy, you start, then we'll go to Olivia, Want to get your thoughts, but go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, she's going to be loyal to herself, especially given Trump's loyalty to himself. And she works for Fox, and we don't know the ins and outs of what her relationship is with Fox and how happy or unhappy she is at the network. We have no idea. But it sounds like she's comfortable in her job and she wants to do right by her employer. The way to keep your job is to do what your employer says and keep the peace. I don't know. I'm on her side here. I like her though.
I am too. I think she's magnificent, and I just think it makes him small. I don't understand it. Olivia, your thoughts?
He seems like the type of person that no matter if you had if you were an employee or whatnot, or were part of his inner circle at some point, he seems like the type of the person that even if you're no longer in that inner circle or you no longer work for him, if you're not loyal to him, he turns on you, period.
Yeah.
She doesn't work for him anymore. She has no reason to be loyal to him. She needs to be loyal to her own boss, just like my old job. I have no reason to be loyal to them. They're not, it's not my job anymore. There's no reason to be. She's got a new job.
And she's
be
always
loyal to them.
She's always been loyal to Trump. That didn't change. She just, listen, news, he thinks that that's breaking news, right? That's coming over the wire. Well, it could have been corrected after the slide was done. It's not like she's up there making the slides, for gosh sakes. And yes, the number was wrong, but it's not necessarily needed. I just don't understand, in my opinion, how can you expect loyalty when every single person knows they're not going to get it? See, the problem I have with Trump, and this is hard for me to say this, is that I think he feels that people are beneath him. And that they have to give him unfettered loyalty, and he doesn't need to reciprocate. Because Kayleigh McEnany used to work for CNN, and she had some very negative things to say about Trump. Now everyone's playing those old videos from CNN in 2015, when she had some negative things to say about Trump. But then when she switched networks and obviously became White House press secretary, nobody said a word. So why wasn't anyone? See, this is why I can't stand some Trump supporters, is you weren't saying dog shit about this last month or 3 years or 5 years or 6 years ago. I had never seen Kayleigh McEnany, except for when I watched her on CNN from time to time, say any negative things. I never saw one video come up. And because Trump unleashes the dogs on her, everyone now has turned on her. They did it to Candace Owens. They did it to Ron DeSantis. They're doing it to Kayleigh McEnany. They've done it to everybody that Donald Trump decides to say, no, you're not a supporter. And to me, it's just, I don't know. He's got so much to focus on, and he's got so many women to win. The last thing I'd be doing is picking a fight with a moderate conservative woman and trying to make her look small and insignificant. She's not running against Kayleigh McEnany. You know what I would have said? Hey, she got the poll number wrong, but that's okay. Kayleigh worked for me for years, and she was fantastic at what she did. And, you know, people make mistakes, move on. I mean, that whole network is a big mistake. That's what he could have said. Yeah. But instead, it was just disrespectful. Anybody else have anything to say on this one?
No, I agree. No,
wow.
It's all.
Yeah, that was easy. I don't know, man. Here's what I also want to show. And I'm not voting for Ron DeSantis. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because I'm not going to do 2 years ago and go off that Donald Trump, because he's not the same Trump from 2016. He's not the same Trump from 2018. He's not the same Trump from 2020, and certainly not the same Trump from 2022. I want to know what I'm going to get, and I want to know what DeSantis is going to give me. I want to hear Chris Christie so I can laugh at his freaking donut-eating ass. I want to hear from every single candidate, and I want to have debates and the best man win. Donald Trump, nobody owes him anything. He is not he's not the president. He's a primary candidate, and a primary is designed to have multiple people contest you. Nobody owes him a gosh darn thing at all. Nobody. So I want to see a contentious, hard-fought campaign to show us who is the best. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not deciding for anybody, but when I think about DeSantis, everyone's like, oh, he's negative. He's going to cut Social Security and healthcare. Would you stop it? I mean, you sound like a liberal. Those commercials on Fox are ridiculous, but this is what I see. And this is the guy that I want, because this reminds me of 2016. And I don't care if this is Trump, DeSantis. I don't care who it is. As long as this person fights like this, I'm fine. Here it is.
Fortunately, there's bad stuff that's getting into the schools. There's pornography that's getting into the schools. So the parents have had to blow the whistle in Florida.
So this lady says you're an effing fascist to Ron DeSantis, and here's his comment.
They've had to. Yeah. Well, thank you. We're not going to let you impose an agenda on our kids. We're going to stand up for our kids. We're going to make sure to do it right. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Those people like that in Florida are the people we beat every single day on policy. We do not let them win. We win all these battles. We're not letting them indoctrinate our kids. Not on our watch.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course you can. Just let me pause it and put you on. Go ahead.
DeSantis reminds me a lot of Trump in 2016.
That's right. That's exactly what he reminds me. Exactly. Perfectly stated.
Except to add to that, he's well-spoken, and when he rebuttals, he makes sense. He's not just cutting people. He is backing up what he's saying with actual facts, because he has been the governor. He has done real important things in Florida. And I saw him getting in trouble, with air quotes, with the media. They're trying to say that he was, not answering questions. He's like, it's exactly what I'm doing. Like, come on, bring it. He's like, bring it. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
I do too. And I like Trump and I like DeSantis, but I think listen,
DeSantis.
the worst thing in politics that you can possibly do, and I don't know, some of you may know these things, some of you may not know these things, is you never recognize a non-threat. And if Ron DeSantis wasn't a threat, the Trump campaign wouldn't recognize him. You don't hear him going after Nikki Haley. You don't hear him going after Mike Pence. He said nice things about Mike Pence the other day, and that's the first time he said that since 2020. Giving DeSantis credence ultimately demonstrates exactly what I'm trying to say, is that Donald Trump's scared of him. But more importantly, so's the left. The left is terrified of DeSantis because they know that he can beat Joe Biden, but they want Trump to run. Now, they wanted that in 2016, and we saw what happened. But I think everyone knows what they're going to get with Trump. And I just think people have just browbeaten him for 6 years, that there's nothing he can do to untarnish the reputation that we know of what he gets done. But the baggage that he brings, we're sick of it. Come on, man. Everyone's sick of it. People want him just to run and run well and run hard. But stop taking swings at everybody and their mother. I mean, just stop it. The guy's never been wrong in his life, and I'm just tired of hearing that. This is an interesting few minutes. And speaking of Kayleigh, who runs a very strong, moderated panel here on this and does a great job facilitating this conversation, is you have, obviously, with Roy polling for Ron DeSantis. And take a listen.
I want to start with you. Donald Trump, I imagine, watched the announcement, listened to it on Twitter, and his response would be something like, been there, done that, going to do it again. I'm proven. The governor is not. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great problem to have almost 1 million people crashing the internet. I'd rather have that problem than having no one show up at an event in Iowa and then blame it on the weather. Look, the truth is Governor DeSantis has an extraordinary track record. He won by 1.5 million votes in Florida, 62% of Hispanic voters. he won about 50% of single female voters. Let's see how President Trump thinks he can attract single female voters across the country. The fact is, Governor DeSantis has been attracting people to Florida with net in-migration, with strong support of the police and making sure we stand up to have safe streets, and actually teaming up to help Texas deal with the border crisis that Biden has thrust upon the United States. Governor DeSantis has proven that he's got a track record that works, and the American people are following. And you saw that with the enthusiasm tonight that temporarily broke Twitter, but now they're having a great conversation.
You know, Congressman Donalds, I respect you and Congressman Roy both. You both have a 100 Liberty score. That means a 100% record of conservatism. But what would you say to a conservative voter, Congressman, who says, look, DeSantis is the more conservative guy. He signed 6-week heartbeat legislation. He's going after Disney. He's protecting my little baby kindergartner in the classroom from pornography. How do you answer that conservative voter?
What I would tell them is something very simple. Ron DeSantis has a great record. I'm a citizen of Florida. I represent the state. But at the end of the day, all of it.
I'm telling you right now, if somebody wants a vice president candidate, it's right there. Donald is ridiculously good. He's got that ability. He's fantastic. I love his presence. And it just shows another great answer by him. But see, what he's going to do is he's going to give the DeSantis. This is the guy who should be running Trump's campaign, because he's going to give DeSantis the accolades, and then he's going to redirect it to Trump, which is really the stroke of genius. Folks, we're not telling you who to vote for. Everyone's like, I'm still voting for Trump. It's great. Good. Nobody's telling you. This isn't the Donald Trump show. This isn't the Ron DeSantis show. This is an independent podcast that comments on political happenings, and this is most definitely happening. Some people are like, Trump was a good president. I didn't say he wasn't. What I'm saying is he's unelectable. And until he pulls his head out of his keister and stops fighting the entire world and starts talking about policy and stop going after people who are in far distant second place, it's going to do damage to him. And it's going to do damage to him because all DeSantis has to do is take 7% of the vote and it's over for Trump. He's done. Mm-hmm. He's done. 7% have to write him in. So if he doesn't become a VP, you're going to have to hope that DeSantis stands up, and he will. But what if the shoe is on the other foot, right? What if it came down to DeSantis wins the primaries? Donald Trump, do you think he would stand up there and relent and go ahead and say, Ron DeSantis is my man and I'm going to support him 100%? Do you think that's what he'll do? Think about that while we watch the rest of this. Excuse me, hiccups.
Accomplishments, especially if you want to talk about the abortion ban, are not possible without the presidency of Donald Trump. You see, it took somebody to come to Washington and have the courage of his convictions to look this machine, this swamp in the face and say, no, there's a better way. It took somebody to actually show all Republicans how you needed to have a spine strong enough to stand up to the media and to the Democrats up here on Capitol Hill. And last but not least, for those voters watching who are going to...
Okay, there's always one in the group. Always. It doesn't matter. Every time. So I'm going to do something that I don't always do. I'm going to ask and try to be as open as I can to this comment and give it the best shot that I can. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. So here it is. It says, hold the line to Santos is a rhino. Look and see where he's getting a lot of his money. Okay, I have. Do you think Donald Trump turned down political contributions? Do you think that Donald Trump didn't ask money for the Koch brothers? Do you think that Donald Trump didn't get money from BlackRock? Do you think that Ron DeSantis is the only Republican to have George Soros sit here and say, oh, yeah, I support him because they don't want the other guy? Do you think he's the first person to take money from a group that maybe he shouldn't? Do you think Donald Trump took money from Proud Boys? Do you think he took it from Oath Keepers? Do you think he took it from skinheads who aren't a registered party? Do you think he took it from guys who are racist? Do you understand that money is given by bigwig Democrats to Republican candidates because they want to create opposition for the person who they feel they can't beat? So when you sit here and say, look at the money that he's gotten, how come you were all for Ron DeSantis being the vice president less than 6 months ago? Sharon, I don't even have to talk to you, but I know you were. Because every single Republican on this planet said, oh, I want Ron DeSantis. I saw the polls. 6 months ago, we were looking at something like 78% of Republicans wanted Ron DeSantis to be the vice president of the United States. You're going to tell me you were one of them that didn't? No, you started seeing the Fox News commercials and you saw Soros come out. And you started reading Trump's tweets. And what bothers me is the left does this, where the talking heads will say something and everyone regurgitates it. Why are we doing the same? Do we really believe that every single thing that Donald Trump says about Ron DeSantis is true? And vice versa. And if you do, then show me the receipts. Show me specifically what money. Karl Rove, Paul Ryan, George Bush, they gave to Romney. Were you okay with that? Do you know they gave to Jeb Bush against Donald Trump in 2016? They don't like Donald Trump. So that doesn't mean that DeSantis all of a sudden is a paid shill. It means they're giving their money to Ron DeSantis. Now, what's even worse is what happens if Ron DeSantis goes in there. Have you seen him vote any Democrat policy? Please tell me the policies that weren't Republican that he voted for. Please tell me what he has done. Because if you want to go ahead and sit here and say that Donald Trump never went up against the Second Amendment, I've got some things to talk to you about. If you want to tell me that Donald Trump never went against the First Amendment, I've got some things to talk to you about. Because even though I will tout 90%, 95% of what he did as excellent for America, there was some shit that was downright awful, including the jab, which he just endorsed again. He's pushing the vaccine still. He just did it 3 days ago. How do you feel about that? Oh, well, I don't agree with him on that. But what? We can make excuses? You're telling me Donald Trump's perfect? He's not perfect. He wasn't annotated by God. He's a man. He made mistakes. He went after bump stocks. Several times with school shootings, he said he should go after the person first. Take their guns and then due process. You're okay with that? When it came to social media, he said he didn't have a problem with some groups being censored. He just didn't like being censored himself. Well, that goes against the First Amendment, doesn't it? See, I don't understand why people do this. And hold the line, stand up for Donald Trump. Why should I have to stand up for Donald Trump? Why can't Donald Trump stand up for himself? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to stand up for him? Why do I have to do that? I'll tell you the good, I'll tell you the bad, but I'm not going to sit here and stand up for Donald Trump, because do you think Donald Trump would stand up for me? I don't see him fighting Facebook and YouTube, who've canceled my accounts and throttled me and take away my advertising. I don't see him. What do I owe Donald Trump? I have repeatedly said what a great job he did several times on this show in the last month, let alone the last 3 years. What I'm saying is that he has not done those things recently. We need someone who will come into the presidency, clean up this mess. Why didn't he clean it up for 4 years? Why didn't he get some of those? Why didn't he clean up the swamp for that 4 years?
Right.
He had control of the Senate and the House. Why didn't he clean it up then? What's another 4 years going to do? He needs to clean up the mess that Biden made, and we know President Donald Trump can do that. I think DeSantis, show him some receipt. Look at, you're just a shill, Sharon. DeSantis. Spell the names. What are you, a liberal? What about the people who call Trump Drumpf? Are you okay with that? Why are you calling him DeSantis? Should stay in Florida. Why? You haven't shown me one reason why he should. As hard as I'm fighting for you to show me why, is as hard as I've fought for Donald Trump to tell leftists why they need to explain to me why he's a bad president. Sorry to go off, but I don't appreciate the comments that he's dirty when he has done nothing but everything for the state of Florida. Donald Trump didn't deliver 97% of red counties. Florida has never turned red. It's almost 100% red. It's a guaranteed lock for Republicans. Are you kidding me? Donald Trump didn't do that. Right. He moved from New York to Florida, and you're going to go ahead and question Ron DeSantis' policies? I don't understand. I don't get it. Let's listen to the rest.
And
Watch
where's
this
Mar-a-Lago?
race. Donald Trump has
Yeah, where's Mar-a-Lago? Exactly. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I apologize for
done
going
this
on.
job. He did this job in an exemplary fashion. And to be totally blunt, if it wasn't for collusion that we're now seeing in the FBI colluding against his own administration when he was the commander-in-chief, his administration would have been even better for the American people. He's done the job once. We know he can do the job again. And that would be my response to the voters who are going to be watching this race.
And Congressman Roy, the flip side of this, so a critic would say, hey, these conservative positions that the governor's staking out legislatively, his signatures are on the bills, that will harm him in a general election on abortion, on Disney, et cetera. How do you answer that critic?
Well, first of all, to my good friend Byron, and he is my good friend, I was proud to nominate him for Speaker of the House. Love working with him side by side in the House. And we're demonstrating that you can disagree on choosing who you're going to support in a primary and then come together. And we're going to do that next year to take on the radical leftist agenda. But Governor DeSantis, look, he's providing, I think, the leadership that the American people are sorely missing. And, to the point that Byron just made about what's going on in D.C. and the president, there were never cruisers before, there were never Trumpers. The Freedom Caucus existed and was getting created before Donald Trump got to town. This is a continuum. And Governor DeSantis was here, and he helped start the Freedom Caucus, the same Freedom Caucus that Byron and I are part of, standing up to the establishment. And now in Florida, he's doing the hard work of standing up for the people there. And Disney, he took on Disney, the 800-pound gorilla in Florida, when everybody said he shouldn't. And by doing that, he's demonstrating that he can stand up for parents, stand up for families, stand up for hardworking Americans that are getting run over by the corporate establishment. And the corporate establishment are the ones that hate things like Twitter Spaces because it's breaking their back. Governor DeSantis knows it. He's on the right side of history. He understands the culture war is the key to winning the future of this country and making sure that we can lead this country forward into a very prosperous future, positively and optimistically.
You make a very important point. You said the two of us are on this panel. One supports Trump, one supports DeSantis. We can come together at the end of this. But Congressman Donalds, to you, I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion. Look, the never Trumpers are crazy to me. Why would you not get behind? If you're a never Trumper, you're a pro-Biden individual, really, at the end of the day. But at the same time, what do you say to the only Trumpers, to the voters out there who say, if it's not Trump, I'm out?
Well, a couple things. One, look, this is where Chip and I do agree. We're going to do our work here on Capitol Hill. This process is going to continue. And when it is done, it is time for our party to unite and get behind our nominee and go win the White House. For the people out there who are Republicans, who have had issues with Donald Trump in the past, I will give you two words, and that name is John Fetterman. You see, the Democrats do not care about whether you want to support the nominee or not. They are about victory, and we need to be about the very same thing.
Victory, winning. We will hear a lot about that. Thank you both for being here.
So the one thing I appreciate about that, and then I want to hear from the ladies, it's pretty simple, is that that's the type of dialogue we should be hearing, but not from Roy and Byron's. We should hear this from Trump and DeSantis. Mm-hmm. DeSantis tried. Yeah. DeSantis is like, listen, I'm not going to engage in this stuff. He can say whatever he wants, but I'm just going to focus on policy. And finally, he had to start hitting back because he was losing numbers, because unfortunately, that's what the bloodletters want. That's what the vultures on the left, who are the only Trumpers, want. And she's right. I mean, Kayleigh said it best. The never Trumpers are absolutely Pygmalion scumbags, and so are the only Trumpers. People, he's not going to be around after this 4 years. If he loses, this is the end. He'll do speeches. He'll be there at rallies, all that. But Donald Trump is not the Republican Party. No. And he was always a change candidate. He wasn't the Republican Party. And now, and honestly, he seems fairly moderate. DeSantis seems like the right conservative. So you got to slow down a little bit, and we got to let this play out. I want to see them hammer. Olivia, Amy, what do you guys think? You got to see the video. Want to get your thoughts?
So to the only Trumpers who are like, it's Trump or it's no one. Okay, so what happens if he does get elected and he can only serve one more term? What's going to happen in 2028? You just never going to vote again because you can't run. So are you just, because it's not Trump, not going to vote anymore? Just, a thought.
And are we going to destroy every candidate in the meantime who has a chance because he's not Trump?
It's ridiculous. I was a huge avid Trump supporter in 2016. I was a huge avid Trump supporter in 2020. But I'm all about we need to get the country back on track. I don't care who does it as long as they do it. And I will look at all the candidates on the Republican side before I decide who I'm going to vote for. As of right now, the one who's catching my eye is DeSantis, because like I said, he does remind me of Trump from 2016. But just because I was a supporter of Trump in 2016, 2020, or 2020 does not mean that I'm only going to support him in 2024. I'm going to keep my eyes open and see who's going to do the best thing for the country, not for myself.
I think that's pretty well said. Amy, we're going to let you go here, but Lana Johnson says, reclaim the rainbow. What?
Because God gave us the rainbow as a promise to never flood the world again.
So how do we feel? Do we feel Skittles needs to give it back too?
That's what I was thinking. Taste the rainbow.
I'm like, are you guys boycotting Skittles now? All right. So her comment is, Ron is dirty. Provide proof. What do you mean dirty? How? What? Please explain to me specifically what he has done that's illicit, because that's what dirty means, which means against the law. Please tell me what he did that was against the law, except for shipping illegal immigrants out of Texas through Florida into Martha's Vineyard, instead of going after Disneyland, instead of stopping CRT books and material and sexual explicit material happening in the school, instead of holding the teachers accountable and fighting the unions, turning the entire Florida state red. Now, sure,
and not
Donald
shutting
Trump
down in COVID and not shutting the state down.
No, he did shut it down, but he was one of the first to leave it up and open it back up. He did shut it down. Everybody shut it down, except for states that literally have 5 people in it, like Wyoming and Montana and things to that effect. But if you're going to sit here and say that he's dirty, you better back it up. You better back it up, because everything, I wouldn't trust him on a stack of Bibles. I trust President Trump. He's a God man. Really?
Sorry.
He's a God-fearing man, huh? That's what you're going to tell us?
No.
You think Donald Trump's God-fearing? What makes you say that? Over DeSantis, who had his children in the church, who has his children in the church every Sunday, and his wife every Sunday, they're in church. How do you say that God, listen, I know there's a lot of things about Donald Trump. He's going to be amazing for world policies. I think Ron DeSantis is going to have a lot to learn. I think he's going to do amazing things for the economy, and I think DeSantis is going to put the exact same policies in place if he gets in. I think he does for immigration. DeSantis doesn't know what the hell to do with immigration, so he's going to have to do what Trump did, which is trust the Department of Homeland Security and trust the Border Patrol and put people in the right place, which Trump didn't do. I'm not disagreeing with you, but Ron DeSantis isn't running away from Donald Trump's policies. He's running towards them. But he does have things on his own, especially the military, which Ron DeSantis knows in and out, something that we have not had in a long time sitting in the White House since George Bush. We need a military person, and I'm talking senior. We need a military president to help get this military back in order. And I don't see enough military candidates on the stage. What do you mean he's dirty? This man served his country. He went to some of the most prestigious colleges. He worked with Navy SEAL team in the JAG Corps. He was a representative. He has a governorship experience. He has more experience than Donald Trump does, and he's not a part of the swamp. Help me understand why his voting record, you say he's dirty. I don't get these things. I don't know why people keep doing this. I don't know what, you don't have any points. You just come in here and just say whatever you want, and you think you're not going to be held accountable. That's not the way this works. Amy, do you have something else?
I think you hit most of the points that I was going to say, which is, Trump in 2016, he made a lot of good points. If you looked at his history up until 2016, he was not always Republican. He was more Democratic in his ways and his policies and what his belief system was. So, if you're comparing apples to apples and you look at Ron's, hey, Ron, I just love Ron DeSantis. If you look at his history, from what I know, he doesn't have that same like, well, I'm on this side of the aisle, but I've had a change of heart. And I'm not saying people can't change their minds or how they feel and the way they vote. It's obviously possible. I did vote for Trump twice, and it's because our country needed a dramatic change. And I thought Trump was a great president. And I think Ron DeSantis could be a great president too. And I think he has a lot to learn from Trump. And I think that he could do a phenomenal job. And I think, again, Trump is extremely volatile. And do we want the president who's always in court? Do we want the president who's always having to hire attorneys? Do we want the president who's always causing problems in not only with himself but with the American people? If you like Trump, you're hated, and if you don't like Trump, you're hated. He's so divisive, whether or not he means to be. He just is. And I think DeSantis has a lot more ability to bring us together collectively.
See,
I think so.
Here, Amy, this is a great point you just made, because Sherry, I know how Sherry feels. She loves Trump. She cares about. Listen, if you think we're bashing on Trump, that's ridiculous. Because I'm not bashing Trump. I'm just telling you the truth. Tell me how I'm wrong. Call into the show. I'll put it in the scroll right now, and you can call in and tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me what I'm great. And I know what you're gonna say. He did great for 2016. He did some great things for our country. Yeah, I know all that. His last 6 months was a complete abortion as president. It was horrendous. 3 months was great for COVID, and then it all went downhill in March. And then it stolen election, January 6th. It's been nothing but trials. He's diminutive now. He can't act magnanimous, or he can't act holier than thou, because everyone knows the truth. Now, he may not have stolen the records like they said, but he did have them, and he didn't give them back, whether you like that or not. We may want him to do quid pro quo against Zelensky, and we want him to basically say, you do this and I'll do this, but it is still quid pro quo, and it is against the law, whether you like that or not. And yeah, of course, the Russian collusion was bullshit, and of course, all the fake trials, of course, the Stormy Daniels crap, and the E. Jean Carroll, and all this crap. We know this, but he fucked her. And he probably did some of the things that he said, maybe not rape. That's why they didn't say it's rape, but they had some sort of physical contact, because that's what the jury said. Oh, it's a hung jury, Matt. Listen, it all can't be a conspiracy theory. It all can't just be a conspiracy theory, folks. That's just not the way it works. There has to be some truth in some of it. And although the Democrats are fishing and they're going to do it, that's not going to stop. You think that's going to stop? You think they're going to stop and just be like, okay, President Trump got in, too bad, we're going to stop now. No, they're going to impeach him again, over and over. And they're going to lock him up. And the Republicans are going to lock him up, too. And what he did in his first year and a half of presidency was nothing. He did executive orders. He overwrote executive orders for for Obama. And why? Because he couldn't get anything done in the Congress. You think that's going to change? You think Democrats are all of a sudden just going to be like, okay, Trump's our man? Sherry says, so many Floridian people are upset with DeSantis. From what I've seen, they elected him to be governor. They think he needs to wait and run. So let me get this straight. People in Florida want Joe Biden to be president so they don't feel bad about losing their governor? Is that what you're telling me? How does that make any sense? I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that DeSantis lied about it. But do you really think that the RNC isn't tapping DeSantis? Do you know how much money he raised? $8 million in 2 days. He's getting bankrolled by the RNC, not the DNC, the RNC. They don't want Trump to run. And of course he should allow Trump to mentor him, of course. But DeSantis, is he leaving him any choice? At some point, it would be like inviting Caesar into his... Oh, God. Ban Juan Rodriguez. Dude, shut up. What a bunch of... Oh, my God. What a fucking moron. I don't need to see you on the weekend. Dude, you guys make me sick. What makes you think this is the Trump... Have you even listened to anything we've said? What makes you think this is the Trump podcast? Listen to this jackhole. The orange-faced criminal is now a sexual predator. No, he's not. He wasn't even shown guilty. It's a civil case, you fuckhead. I'm not. This one's not gonna be good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be really rude on this one. I apologize. Besides many other crimes, what crimes? Name one crime he's been charged for. What crime? What, the money to Stormy Daniels? The misdemeanor that was put up into a felony? 32 counts of all the same thing. That's the crime. You're right. He got hit with that crime. What else? What many other crimes? The orange face Hitler is now, dude, seriously, man, are you even from the United States? Orange face Hitler is one of the few Republicans that Biden can beat. Yeah. The orange face idiot is in big trouble. Dude, you're a fucking chat GBT. You went to AI, didn't you? And you put in a bunch of shit and this is what it wrote. No human would write this way. No person who actually has a semblance of understanding of politics would put it in this jibber jabber. These aren't even complete sentences, yo. I'll finish your bullshit. Here it is. The uneducated MAGA supporters of the orange face crook need to know the truth. The first indictment is nothing. Just wait for the next few. Next few? 3 or more? Many more indictments are coming for the orange face criminal. At the end, the orange face crook going to spend some time behind bars. Oh, Jack talk Thai real well. The orange face Hitler going to pay for his crimes and lies, says this veteran of 27 years of military. You didn't learn how to speak English in the military?
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potatoes.
I'm ashamed. You were in the military and you can't formulate a fucking sentence? What were you, Army? Says this veteran of 27 years of military service with the U.S. Army. Go figure. 2 of those years fighting in the jungles of Vietnam. The orange face, first of all, if you fought in Vietnam or fought in any war, that doesn't give you any credence to be a complete douche plow. Dude, congratulations, bro. You have the exact same thing in common of 11 million other people who are still alive today. Welcome home. For you to be a complete dunderhead and calling everyone Hitler and Nazis. This is what you fought for, huh? This is the freedoms you fought for? The orange-faced loser is going to be 2 times loser in 2024. The orange-faced Hitler tried to take over our country by force and lies. He will pay for that crime. Dude.
How many times can you say orange in?
Dude, someone ban this guy, please, so my show can remain PG-13. I can't. Not tonight. Dude, do me a favor. G.I. Joe, give me a call. Call the show. Someone give him a link, please.
Joe.
Give this guy a link. I want you on the show. I want you. I don't believe you're in the Vietnam. I don't. Because here's the thing. It's the way you talk. It's the way you communicate. I think you got a deferment. What do you think? 27 years in the Army, huh? 27 years. What was your MOS? What was your rank? Where were you stationed out of? All these things I'd want to know. Call my show. I'll pay you $100 to your PayPal right now if you call the show. If you have the guts to call in the show and talk to me, I'll give you $100. Here you go. There's the show. You got 30 seconds to call me. And you know what? If you served in Vietnam, that's fine. I'm not disrespecting you. But anyone who served in the military who sits here and calls people Nazis and orange-faced losers, and if you were a sergeant after 27 years, that says more about you than anything else. That's like being a fry cook at McDonald's for 27 years. They're trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you something. With respect, if you were in Vietnam, you're a veteran. And you can say whatever you want, and you've earned that right. But what you don't get to do is call a bunch of people Nazis because they vote for someone you don't agree with. You sound like a liberal. Sounds like you would have been against the Vietnam War. See if he calls. I'm interested to hear it. What a douche plow. Sorry. Veteran. You know what? Especially a veteran of your generation, you knew something. You knew something about respect and honor. And you just lumped half of America into a nice little basket, Hillary. And to me, I don't know, man. I think that takes away from your service. And anybody who treads on their service.
Half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Even if they ban, he can still watch the show. He just can't comment and chat. And it just comes down to this. Yes, I'm ripping on the Army because you need to understand inter-service rivalry. It's a joke. It's called humor. But if you sit here and say, I'm in Vietnam and I've done this and therefore it gives me carte blanche to say this, I don't think I've ever said those words in my life. The only time I've ever brought up my service from an intelligence standpoint is when someone tries to challenge, well, you don't know. How do you know? It's like, okay, well, this is how I know. Nobody challenged this guy. He thought that he would go ahead and trade on his Vietnam service in order to call half of America Nazis and Hitler. Yeah, sorry. I don't agree. You know what? This is a great video. I hope he likes this. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, your president, Joseph R. Biden. Enjoy this.
Oh.
Oh, no, this is good.
All right, Joe, let's see if you can even get to the damn mark this time. Remember, like we practice, walk around, go up and say hi to the general, and then get behind the podium. Yep, up the stairs, careful, careful. You know how you are with stairs. Yeah, okay, that podium, yes. Walk forward, say hi to the general, and stop. And stop. Where are you going? Not that general. Oh my God. Joe, go back to the podium. Joe. Oh my God, this is so awkward. These poor cadets. Joe, to the podium. Could you? Yeah, thank you. Direct him to the podium, please. Come on. There you go, old man. Get up there. No, the podium, you idiot. Where are you going? Oh God. You know, I hope something happens to you later.
A few moments later.
All right, go ahead and walk off the stage now, Joe. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What happened? Did someone push you? Invisible stairs? Where? There's nothing there, Joe!
What is that guy's name who did the video? Well, I want to give him credit. It's funnier than hell. It's Magical Trevor. And you can find him. Just search for Magical Trevor. I can't imagine that that's going to be hard to find. Listen, I don't think we should make fun of somebody who falls. I'm 50 years old and I wake out of bed and I can't even freaking move. But put it all together and it's, yeah. Amy, actually, Olivia, you go first then, Amy.
Well, I actually had a comment to Lana real quick.
Okay.
She, so speaking of Bibles, I looked up a Bible verse. Leviticus 20:10. If a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Tell me, when did Ron DeSantis have an affair? Because Donald Trump had 3 that I know of, possibly more. So tell me how much of a godly man Trump is. That's all I have to say.
Now, this is a woman who lost friends and family because she voted for Trump, but
lost the godparents to my children because I voted for Trump.
Yeah, and I just think that we need to slow down a little bit, because if anyone thinks that Donald Trump can win, I'm just letting you know you're not looking at the numbers. Now, that may change, but as of right now, if every single category from a Republican perspective, he's losing in. And there's over 70 different categories. Educated, uneducated, white, male, religious, female, non-religious female, single male, blah, blah. We can just go on and on. Black, Mexican, Christian, non-Christian, Jew, Gentile, whatever. They cover everything. He's losing in every category by a lot. So we have to ask ourselves the question. Tammy says, in Christ, all things are forgiven. That's not what she said, Tammy. There's a lady there who's saying that Donald Trump is godly and derived from God.
And DeSantis is evil. So I was just making a comparison.
Yeah, it's not a fair comparison. You walked in the middle of the conversation. Amy, your thoughts on this? Teresa says goodbye. Bye, Teresa. Goodbye.
Bye.
I hope you're not leaving because you're upset.
Yeah. Good night. So the fall, when I first saw the fall, I did not think it was funny at all. Like I just felt like, oh my gosh. And when you see an elderly person, and he is elder, I can't say the word elderly. When you see an elderly person fall down, it's like gut wrenching. You're like, holy F, that could literally kill them if they break a hip,
Yeah,
you know,
he breaks
whatever.
the hip, it's over.
So I didn't think it was funny at all. I didn't see that video you just showed. Like, that is hilarious. Like, the commentary.
I mean, that's great. It's commentary.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. And but I was watching. I think it was Ben Shapiro, and he had a really good point in what I thought was, you know, when Trump was doing the pitter patter down the ramp, everyone made fun of him. We make fun of every president for lots of reasons, and the media is not making fun of him for this. And it's just like in our family, like we laugh at each other. If my kids trip or I trip, everyone's like, ha ha. It's just our family dynamic. Unless you're seriously hurt, then it's not funny. But if you fall in our family, you laugh. And no one's laughing about this because Joe Biden is elderly, and it's terrifying that our president could literally die from a fall like that. And I think
50%
it's the
of the people on the
reality
planet don't make it till 86.
right. That's yeah, he's already past
85.
the average age of most living Americans, and I'm sure he has great health care. Um, so I'm sorry.
Well, real quick, I want to make a point. Some people are commenting. Biden dumped hospital wife for babysitter, so don't try selective OT quotes on me.
What?
You're telling me Joe Biden was his babysitter for his kids? Do you know that how many times this has been debunked?
Yeah.
Listen, if you have so many things you can hit Joe Biden on, and you're going to do the made up stuff. Do you know how much shit Joe Biden has caused that you can just nail him to the wall for? And you're going to do the made up stuff. Why would we make it up when you have a litany of information that you can hit him on? You can hit him on inflation. You can hit him on spying on a candidate. You hit quid pro quo with Afghanistan. You can hit him our Ukraine, $1 billion blackmailed, the 10 of his family members getting money from the CCP, Communist Chinese Party. You can talk about the documents. You can talk about inflation. You can talk about the American dollar. You can talk about the border. You can talk about our military standing, our security, proxy wars, inevitable wars in Africa, China, Iran, Ukraine, Syria, hotbeds between Israel again, energy independence gone, housing, real estate, banking failures, food crisis, food shortages, and you're going to hit him on a babysitter that Joe Biden wasn't? Help. Biden dumped hospital wife for the babysitter, so don't try selective OT quotes on me.
Didn't his wife die?
It doesn't matter. What does this have to do with anything?
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Who's defending Biden in this show? There's not one person. Biden has 48 years of failure. He has eulogized 4 KKK members. The man has said more racist shit than Donald Trump ever has. We're not going to defend him, but I'm certainly not going to go ahead and hit up the babysitter. And I'm not going to hit up his daughter's diary, which, why, you really believe that?
Yeah.
Somebody put something in a diary. Do you want to know what my daughter said about me at one point? Do you want to know that kids say things sometimes that they don't mean? Have you ever had a daughter who gets angry at you and mad at you and says, I hate you?
Have you ever hated your parents because they wouldn't let you stay out past curfew or date a certain boy?
I'm not defending him. I don't like Joe Biden at all. But it doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and worry about the things that are immaterial, just like I don't give a shit about Stormy Daniels and whether he doinked a hooker. Good. Who cares? That has nothing to do with me. I've done some things I'm ashamed of, haven't you? If we keep expecting our politicians to be clean as the driven snow and have any experience that's actually worth having them lead us, or at least represent us, not lead us, well, that's how you get experiential learning, is by making mistakes. So if every single president has to be clean as the virgin snow, you're in for a horrible expectation letdown. No, Dick, but you have a Marxist Democrat president and a good leader, but really another president and a president that knows how to lead a country and protect. I don't know what this means. I'm sorry. James, slow down. Try it again.
Yeah.
Another day, another Biden falling over. He's a criminal that has sold out the U.S. for decades. Vladimir could take him in 2 seconds.
Out behind the barn.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ames.
I was just going to say my daughter who just came in here because they're not in school anymore, so they don't really have a bedtime. I said they should be in bed by 9, but whatever. And they said, can we stay up late? And I'm like, sure. She goes, speaking of being a bad parent, she's like, you're the best mom ever, even though sometimes you're mean.
Oh my God.
So that's what my 6-year-old just said to me right now. I'm letting them stay up late again. The best mom. But sometimes
it's a good thing. You got to do it. And kids say things they don't mean.
Yeah.
I'm into the comments tonight. God used faulted men throughout the Bible. Trump did his part to expose Now just maybe Ron DeSantis is our next candidate. Can someone please tell me what Donald Trump exposed of the swamp? Can someone please tell me specifically exactly what he exposed? Please tell me. The dirty dossier? He didn't expose that.
Right.
That was a whistleblower. Wiretaps? Nope. That was investigative team during discovery. What specifically did Donald Trump do in the swamp to stop the swamp? Was it when he passed the $2.5 trillion spending bill in 2016 when he first took office by the Democrats to get his defense funding? Is that the time that he stopped the swamp? Was it the trillions of dollars, 6.5 trillions during COVID? What was it that he did? Tell me exactly what he did to stop the swamp. Now, he challenged the press. He challenged leaders. Of course, he did all that, but they're still in office. Which ones were removed for corruption and theft? What about his attorney general not going after Hillary Clinton? What about not going after Adam Schiff and his lies? How did he stop the swamp? How did he even begin? People are like, oh, well, he'll come back and finish the job. Well, tell me how he started it. I'm done with the narrative. Like, I'm going to piss some people off because I'm done listening to this bullshit. I had to listen to the stolen election stuff for 2.5 years. And you know what? I stuck to my guns, and guess who ended up being right? Not you. I ain't listening to this stuff. I'm done with it. I'm done with the narrative. Let's talk about what he did do. Let's talk about unemployment rate. Let's talk about every single racial demographic being better off than the year before. Let's talk about 14 tax brackets actually getting relief from the Obama administration's taxes. Lowest taxes in 4 years. Let's talk about no conflicts. Let's talk about Chinese tariffs. Let's talk about USMCA and NAFTA realignment. Let's talk about peace in the Middle East. Let's talk about the caliphate and ISIS and Al-Qaeda getting hunted down. Let's talk about getting the fuck out of Syria. Let's talk about shutting down the Afghanistan war. Let's talk about energy independence. Let's talk about 812 pieces of regulation that Obama put in place to throttle small business, completely revoked within the first 90 days. Let's talk about 372 pieces of legislation to go ahead and enact and create actual people working for COVID and with creating PPE, with money being released, with states' rights to go ahead and release reserve and emergency funds at their discretion. 300 and some odd pieces of executive order and legislation he pushed through COVID in the first 47 days. They fast-tracked a vaccine. You may not like the results, but at least they got it done. Please tell me why we need to go ahead and make shit up. Focus on the things that Trump did, but also focus on the things that are going to hold him back from being president in 2024 if he continues going down this road. He's got to sell what he's going to do for America. America doesn't want change candidate. They want the person back who cares about America. And 2016 Trump doesn't sound anything like 2024 Trump. That needs to change. Yeah. I don't care about Kayleigh McEnany. I don't care about Ron DeSantis. I don't care about Mike Pence. I don't care about January 6th. I don't care about your NFT trading cards. I don't care about your fucking Trumpinator bobblehead. I want policy, and I want the swamp shut down. And there's only one person that I'm seeing doing that, and Ron DeSantis has done that in Florida, and he's continuing to fight them. He fought Disney. Disney had a stranglehold. It's like Exxon in California, and he fought him tooth and nail, and he lost, and he's going back after him again. He's not going to stop. Mm-hmm. I want a fighter.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm fired up tonight. All right,
I'm
Liv,
with
you got
you.
anything else?
Nope.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got?
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and read off a few more comments. Do you have any others? Take them off. If you believe in standing up for freedom in America, you conceded a MAGA violent criminal. You're conceited. James, we're lost, buddy. I need a roadmap and a compass. Can you help me? Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No offense.
I have a good comment.
Go.
I'm so bad with names. Jean Marie McLaughlin. She says, wish my stocks were back to Trump days and energy food prices back down. I felt safer under Trump and slept well. Yeah, totally agree with that.
That's great. I agree with you 120%. Fantastic statement. And yes, that's all true. Yeah. It's all true. See, that's the thing. Let's focus on the things that are important. If Donald Trump would just go ahead and litigate the case against Joe Biden for the next 15 months, he can win. But he's not doing that. He's hitting Ron DeSantis and Kayleigh McEnany. He's hitting Geraldo Rivera. He's not running against these people. What the fuck, man? Let your pundits go after that. Go sick the dogs of war. Instead, There is a war going on Twitter. It's Trump fans versus DeSantis fans, and they're tearing each other. The Republican Party is fractured. I'm seeing it every day. All the pundits who talk for Trump are getting attacked by DeSantis fans. They're leaking tapes. They're leaking photographs from fundraisers. They're leaking previous history at Pornhub and shit. I mean, they're trying to destroy each other. The Trump team is trying to destroy the DeSantis team, and the DeSantis team is trying to destroy the Trump team. Folks, this isn't what we need. This is stupid. This isn't politics. This is grab-ass TikTok bullshit.
Yeah. But it's what the left wants. They want us to fracture. They want to see us struggling, and they want Trump to run. So,
Well, yeah, they want Trump to run. Jean Marie says, Trump exposed the FBI, question mark. Since it's a question, I'm assuming you're asking. No, he didn't. James Comey did that himself. Ray has done that himself. Whistleblowers have done that. What did Trump do specifically to expose the FBI? Please tell me. You're talking about Roger Stone? You're talking about Manafort? You're talking about the investigation? You're talking about the dirty dossier? You're talking about the wiretaps? That was found in Discovery.
Right.
That was found during the text messages of Strzok and Page. That had nothing to do with Donald Trump. That was an independent investigation by the Attorney General and the DOJ. Donald Trump has no control of that. He can't even tell the DOJ to go take a fart. He can't tell him to write you a parking ticket. They're autonomous from each other. What did Donald Trump do? Let's talk about the things he did.
So Karen on YouTube listed a few.
Hold on. Paul Ugla Jesse Inglewood Bible teacher. Oh my gosh. You have what, 6 names? Or you're like Hillary Rodham Clinton. Obviously he didn't stop the swamp because you were still here. That's hilarious. If I was on the swamp, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be in Barbados checking my percentages on the stock market. No.
Right.
Stupid. What a stupid comment. Wow. Nice job, Bible teacher. I doubt most people here have any idea who you are referring to. I would be shocked if people remembered who or knew who I was referring to. Nothing he did kept saying was, I didn't read that. That will resort to anything to stay in power.
So Karen from YouTube had listed quite a few things Trump did.
Okay, wait. Where? What's the name?
Karen Vaughn.
Okay, list them all. Now, this is to expose the FBI? Okay.
Not to expose the FBI, just lists of things Trump did.
I already know what Trump did. I just listed off. I just gave you 40 of them. But go ahead and list it off.
So he got vets to option to use other doctors other than the VA.
Yep.
He proved that Russia was a big fat lie.
No, he didn't.
Well,
no, he didn't. No, he did not prove that at all. He said some things that he knew were not true. He knew about wiretaps. He knew that the P tapes were fake. They knew the dossier was fake, but he couldn't prove it. It's been proven now because we have the FISA warrant and we have the judges and they've done investigations. So that was done by the Department of Justice. But yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay, fine. He was right about it. I never questioned him. I believed everything he said and I agreed 100% that they did because that would have come out a lot longer than 2000. He's a businessman. He's a multi-billionaire. This guy they would have leveraged that shit against him 12 years ago when he was making negotiations for a new property. It's a cutthroat business in real estate. I'm with you. What's 2? What's 3?
He got us out of the Paris Accord.
Yep.
We were energy independent.
Somewhat. Yeah.
Record low unemployment.
Record low unemployment for all races and colors. I mentioned all of these so far, except for I did Russia collusion too. But go ahead.
He got Germany to pay their own way.
Okay. You're talking about, honey? You're talking about what? United Nations?
I don't
UN?
know. She just said.
Cat's in here. Just leave it open, Hayden. Go ahead.
Just said he got Germany to freaking finally start paying their way.
And like 7 other countries. Yes? In NATO, right? Yes. Go ahead.
I think so. That's it.
That's all the things I said except for NATO. Yeah. But yeah, NATO was pretty good. Good. That's right. But he didn't. But we're not talking about the swamp, right? We're not talking about how he shut the swamp down. Paul, it's his show. Of course, he's still here. I know, isn't that funny? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take no more. The only president ever get $1 from China. Well, let's talk about how he helped veterans. Yeah, I know. I've said it many times. I received a check from him for my medical separation that was not supposed to be taxed 22 years later with interest. I've done a show on it. He's done great things with the VA. He fired the entire department heads of the VA. They replaced everybody. Wait times, see your own doctor, mental health care, 988. pushed all that through Veteran Crisis Hotline. Yeah, I know. I've given him credit for that. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not talking about the swamp, and I'm not talking about election fraud. I'm talking about policies. That's what we need to be talking about, folks. Remember that Matt can't see comments. Yep. He got vets to option to use other doctors. Yep. Sure did, Karen.
Those were the things I was just listing.
Yep. I know. I'm working on it. He needs to quit talking about his enemies and focus. Yep.
Yeah.
Who do you think is advising Trump? Trump.
Yeah. He doesn't listen to anyone.
Who does Trump listen to? I mean, who's left? Who is left? Certainly not Laura Loomer. I'll tell you that much. Certainly not Giuliani. And I can't believe someone said I was part of the swamp. How does that make any sense? Do you want to know what's funny? Is every single thing in this room, every single piece of equipment, everything we own, everything that I get is paid for by the fans. I have not taken $1 from DNC, RNC, any politicians. I've never paid a politician to be on here. Eli Crane on here. Brandon Michon was on here. Ryan Weaver on here. The Next Door Warrior podcast on here. I didn't pay them a penny. We didn't trade anything. Combat Flip Flops, who has endorsed the show. PFC Flags, they haven't paid me $1. I got a free pair of flip flops from PFC because I spent $75 on them 3 years ago, and the guy liked my story so much, it gave me a brand new one. These last forever. Combat flip flops. They last forever. Look at the treads on those. Gabe sent me a brand new pair. He's the CEO, and he's like, dude, loved your story. Thanks for taking care of him. And I told him how it helped my back. Sent me a free replacement pair. How is that swamp? I wish I was part of it. God, do you know how nice it would be to get a couple million? I would love that. You know what I would do? You wouldn't see me again. Poof.
Right.
I'd be gone. Like the wind. Only president that did prison reform and released Biden and Harris? Well, that's not true. Bill Clinton did prison reform. He just put them in versus take them out. You're right. Shut the swamp down. Amen, Matt. This is what I'm seeing about DeSantis. He closed the effing border. No, he didn't. Donald Trump didn't close the border. What he did is he put Department of Homeland Security out, and they stopped people from crossing the border. They enforced the regulations. He had the lowest number of deportations out of any president in the last 50 years. Obama put out more. Joe Biden put out more in the first 9 months than 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency. Reagan kicked out more. Bush kicked out more. Donald Trump deported, I think in the first 2 years, 760,000 illegal immigrants. That's nothing. I think Joe Biden did 2.3 million in his first year and a half, something like that. He didn't close the border.
Crap, where's the comment? Don Bradley says, where can we hear your story for those of us newer to your show?
I don't know. We can talk about it right now. Let's do that. James says, I don't know who's talking to me and who's not. Does anybody know? There will be many fake Republican rhinos that will hate on Trump. So let me get this straight. If I criticize Trump in any way, shape, or form, I'm a rhino? How does that make me a rhino? I've been a registered Republican since I was 18 years old. I voted in every single election in the military overseas during deployment. I've worked for 3 Republican campaigns. I've got 5 friends who all work in Congress, legislation. I've got friends in the FBI, CIA, ONI, Department of Homeland Security. We eat breakfast with the head of Border Patrol Chief of Training in Washington, D.C. here. I can go on and on and on. How does that make me a rhino? Because I'm pointing out the things that Trump didn't do right, and I'm giving you a litany of things he did wrong. Why does that make you so uncomfortable? Are we so uncomfortable because we only listen to Fox News that has the positive things to say that when anyone challenges, they're a rhino?
Mm-hmm.
Please explain to me what I have said that makes me a rhino.
When did Trump become the Republican Party? Because he is a man, he's not the party. So
yes, that's a good question. And then I have another one.
I'm a registered Republican. I'm not a registered Donald Trumper.
Karen Vaughn says we were energy independent. Karen, do you know the oil reserves that Donald Trump said that he refilled? He didn't. They were at 83% when he left. They were at 87%. They weren't 100% full. That's not true. He just didn't use it. He didn't use any of those emergency reserves, which was great. And it kept the price down. But energy independent, that would mean that we were no longer bringing in any imports, and we were still bringing in 12% of foreign oil. We were never energy independent. We were better than we were under Obama, George Bush, and anybody else since Carter, before Carter. But we weren't energy independent. We weren't producing our own energy. We were still exporting and importing. We were exporting more energy than we were importing for the first time in like 40 years, but that's not independence. Because if we were energy independent, the moment that Joe Biden took over, and you want to go ahead and say that the Alaskan pipeline was go ahead and that's what went ahead and caused this, that's not what's true. We stopped mass producing oil. We went ahead and shored up the leases. We started taxing properties. The leases weren't good. It stopped production of oil. We went through the Texas problem that obviously was winterizing. We lost a shit ton of money from that, and we started bringing in oil from an export standpoint versus an import, or an import standpoint versus an export ratio, and we started buying more oil than we were actually selling, and energy and gas and everything else, not just oil. And yes, the sands oil coming from the pipeline too would definitely have made a difference, at least from a monetary standpoint. And those jobs were important too, but that's not what caused the energy to go where it did. It went by spending trillions of dollars and creating inflation, a world economy that shut down and stopped buying oil. Oil prices dropped to a fucking nickel. And then obviously demand came back up. And what did we see? We see prices increase to make up for the losses. We saw the bailouts of the big energy oil, and that's what happened. And nothing to do with a pipeline being shut down. But to sit here and say that we were energy independent autonomously is an accurate statement. And if you actually go do some research and just do what I just told you and look at the oil reserves when Donald Trump took office in 2016 and when he left in 20, I think it was 4%. That's not filling them back up. And he didn't get them empty either. That's not true. But once again, I'm a rhino if I say that, because why? Do you think that nothing would have been exposed by whistleblowers if Trump was never elected? I don't know. If my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather. I don't know. I think Trump being elected, he pushed on the DOJ like no other president ever had to find things. And I think he overstepped his bound as a president to get those things done. But ultimately, we found out a ton. But I think what we saw mainly, which really sunk the Democrats, was Hillary Clinton and the DNC server. And the Podesta emails sunk her more, because that was a treasure trove of information that showed what the Democrats were doing. And that had the dirty dossier in it. It had the birther announcement in it. It had the spying on from Obama. I mean, those things, those emails destroyed the Democrat Party. And a lot of that came out of the things that Trump did have uncovered. All right. What was the question, Liv?
It was Amy.
What'd she say?
I don't know. It was a comment from somebody.
Oh, the one I read?
Yeah.
It was, I forget who. I think her name was Dawn. I might be wrong. They were asking about your story. Where she said, "Where can I go to find out your story?"
So Karen was the one that kept listing off all these things, reckon, learn unemployment and all that. Is that okay? So Karen, I already mentioned all those things. I'm not sure. I didn't ask you to tell me what he did right. I asked you to tell me how he disbanded and destroyed the swamp, or even began the process. Thoughts? Trump kept us from going to war to China. Maybe you've already said that. Sorry, my grandbabies are distracting me. I don't know about China, but certainly Iran, or North Korea and Iran, which ultimately would have led with the conflict with China. Sure. Somebody said they wanted to know how my backstory.
Yes.
That's a lot. I mean, that's. Here's what I'd recommend. If you want to know about me to justify what you're hearing, I would ask you to go listen to the shows. And follow the shows and start with one, and you're going to find out more that way. But I will give you the high level. Military intelligence, worked for 3 Fortune 15 companies in executive roles, worked with law enforcement, training deputies, police officers, firearms instruction, spent a couple years in college, criminal justice, and political science, worked on multiple campaigns, started a podcast because I was bored. Do a lot of work with veterans, a lot of other stuff. But that's basically my history. and I study this stuff a lot. All right, a couple more comments. He create and fought the Democrat folks for the bill to see your own doctor if VA is not doing their job, and they got fired. Yeah, he did a lot of that. Okay, Mel says, no, Matt, the comment was referencing DJT. Okay. Darren Dabbs, this is a lie. Stop with your liberal propaganda.
Liberal propaganda.
See, this is, Amy, can you help me understand this? Where do people like that come from? And what are they thinking? How does, you need to explain it, because I don't I can't fathom what the hell you're talking about when you say liberal. First of all, it's redundant. Liberal and propaganda are the same thing.
Yeah.
Because everything about liberal policy is a lie. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Go ahead, Amy.
No, I can't justify this person at all. I wish I could. I feel like I'm the one who tries to see where people are coming from, but sometimes I can't offer any assistance to that at all. But I will go back to Dawn, who was the one asking. She said she wasn't asking to justify anything. She was just curious. Are your old YouTube videos still up? Like, are the old days, like from years ago?
Yeah, you can find them on the website. You can find them on Rumble. Okay. But Facebook has pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Pretty much everything you can find.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And I think anyone who is new would really serve themselves well to go back and watch. You don't have to watch. I mean, there's so many.
We're almost
you would
500 now. We're almost at 500.
Yeah, there's so many. And when you first started, because I was a follower then, there were long formats too, kind of like we do on the live shows, but they weren't all live. And it's a lot of hours you got to put in. So I don't know if I wish we had like dog-eared some of like the really like important episodes that either give backstories or just point out important things. I mean, we just don't know until after the fact, though. You know, like, oh, this one's a great show for this reason.
Yeah. Okay, so some of you like fact checks, some of you don't, but I'm assuming that you would listen to OPEC and the Department of Energy, maybe. I don't know. I hope you do. There's some things that, you can always say, oh yeah, everything's fake. But Donald Trump said, so after 50 years of being virtually empty, I built up your oil reserves during my administration and low energy prices to 100% full. It's called the Strategic National Reserves, and it hasn't been full for many decades. In fact, it's been mostly empty. That's what he said. So here you go. In January of 2017, at the start of Mr. Trump's term, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was at 695 million barrels. In January 2021, when he made the statement, it was at 638 million barrels.
Yeah.
So what he didn't do was go ahead and sell off oil reserves in order to stabilize pricing like Joe Biden does. And that's the first time a president hasn't done that in their presidency. And that's what he should have taken credit for, but not refilling it. And yes, he actually did drop oil reserve prices at the beginning of 2021 because of COVID and released oil to go ahead and stimulate pricing. But that was on an emergency basis. But that's where you see the depletion in those oils. But he didn't burn it like most presidents do, most Democrats do. So he should have gotten credit for that. But see, if I just prove that to you, then are you a rhino now because you just follow blindly? Because I don't know many Republicans who follow blindly. Most of them don't trust government. Most of them want small government. Most of these people are extremely, they challenge. I don't understand. That's what Republicans used to do. I don't know. Maybe you guys are rhinos. Liv? Got anything? I mean,
no.
You tell me, why do people think that because you speak against anything that your candidate says that you're a rhino or you're a paid shill or you're liberal propaganda?
It's the same reason that we lost friends, because we voted for a different person than them, because people are extremely closed-minded now. And there's no tolerance anymore. There's no patience. There's no love. It's my way or the highway, and I'm going to cut you out of my life, and I'm going to insult you and call you names if you don't think and talk and believe the exact same things as me. It's very elementary school playground-esque to me.
I have a
Just-
question.
Real quick before you get in, Amy, there's a comment that says Trump created the MAGA party that remembers the U.S. Constitution and God. Here's the sad thing. There is no MAGA party. There's no registered MAGA party. It's
Right.
Republicans. And you have the biggest infighting the Republican Party has seen since 2014. 2008, 2014. What did we get then? You guys remember the guy we got? How about Obama when the Tea Party came around and how Sharia law was going to go ahead and take over the United States? When's the last time you heard that? You all wearing burqas yet? What happened to the Republican Party then? It was splintered and fractured. We lost the House. We lost the Senate. We got destroyed. Then Obama came in, screwed it up, and then he had one of the biggest mandates ever revoked from him, and they gave it back to Republicans. And what did we do with it? Nothing. Not one damn thing. We didn't pass shit for 4 years. 2 years in the House, 4 years in the Senate. We didn't use anything except for when Donald Trump came in, and then they still tried to block Trump too. That party, the Republican Party, disintegrated into the Tea Party. And I'm not talking about the Ron Paul Tea Party. I'm talking about the Koch brothers Tea Party, which was paid and bought for by religious zealots like Paul Ryan and Michelle Bachmann. Those are the people that destroyed the Republican Party, and we're getting part two now. We're getting a fracture from alt-right, who are completely to the right, and then the moderate conservatives. And they are fighting, whether you know this or not. And it's not any good. It's not any good. We need to have these primaries, have these debates, and settle on a candidate. Go ahead, Amy.
I was just, when Olivia was talking, it made me think, do we think it's partially a fear that's based in people? I mean, I'm 40 something. And in my lifetime, the presidents that we've had have been a lot of them have been not necessarily polarizing, but there's been really horrible things that have happened. Nitpicking.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't even know who this person is. I've seen her before, but I'm like flabbergasted at her level of, I don't know what she's arguing. I have no idea. Go ahead, Ames.
Maybe she's not talking to you. I don't know. No, I just think maybe it could be a fear. I mean, I grew up, I was really young when 9/11 happened. That was horrible. That was such a huge event in so many people's lives. I mean, my kids have no idea the impact it had on me. And then we had, COVID. It's like there's, and I know this is like in every generation, but I feel like everything is so publicized now. We hear about everything. We do have these subcultures and sub-media cultures that do drive a lot of fear. And do we think that people are so easy to lash out and forget, like, they just want to hold on to what was comfortable for them, and anything that's not comfortable for them becomes the evil, even if it's not for the greater good. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really, really fair frickin' point. Because that's exactly what it is. Karen says, sorry, Matt, but I understood you to mainly ask about the swamp, but also ask what he did do. I never asked what he did. Do you know how many shows? Amy, how many times have you sit here and seen me list 70, 80 things that Donald Trump did and give you a number? I don't need any help telling me what Trump did. I asked you to tell me how he dismantled the swamp or began the process.
Yeah.
None of those things address the swamp. He didn't do anything to the swamp. The swamp exposed themselves. You're telling me that it took Donald Trump to realize that the news media was completely fake? It took Donald Trump to figure out that Democrats were against America, that they were literally running modern-day slave plantations. It took Donald Trump to tell you that they were the party of KKK, Japanese internment camps, racial injustice in America, not supporting civil rights, not the Underground Railroads, the Tuskegee experiments, dropping a nuclear weapon on Japanese people. You're gonna tell me that we didn't know this? Donald Trump created that? It created that there was money in politics and dark money in politics, and billions of dollars is changing hand in Washington. Money's being laundered. Political action committees are buying our candidates. We needed Donald Trump for that? He didn't expose the swamp. He went in and called it out. That's what he did. But everybody knew. We all knew. That's why we wanted him. He was a change agent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. I'm confused. And Karen, I've seen you in here a bunch of times, but I don't know. You just seem to be contentious right now. Matt, this person might have been trying to reply to someone who said something. Oh, of course. And I don't know. Amy, did you do something different with your hair? Somebody wants to know.
Me? Oh, no. I mean, I don't know. It's just been a busy day. I haven't had a haircut in 2 years. And I think it's I just really need a haircut. I need to go to the salon. It's been almost 2 years. I think I just need to bite that bullet. Been a little preoccupied.
You know what we need to do? This is what we need to do. And Olivia is looking ghostly, and I'm sorry. But Karen, you need to come on live.
Yeah.
Because you just said you can say over and over, I have. And I'm not the one that has to. You're saying that there's election fraud. I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you $10,000 cash. I want you, before you come on, to go ahead and put in your PayPal account by giving me your email address. And I'm going to send you $100 cash just to show you I'm serious. And if you can go ahead and provide one piece of incontrovertible proof, one grand jury, one indictment, one affidavit that stood the test of time in courts, one sworn testimony, one investigation, one arrest, one accusation that has led to an arrest, one prosecutorial investigator assigned, one special counsel assigned, one special investigator assigned, I'm going to give you $10,000. And not only do I swear on my children's lives. And my wife is right there. You go. Your move. I'm willing to give you $10,000 to provide me one piece of evidence, fact. And I promise you, I will destroy it. And I won't need to look it up on a computer. I love it when people come in here and talk about the election and tell me that I just say the same thing over and over. No, what I've done is that I have listed a very set of specific steps of what took place, where I've just said I will refuse to say the word stolen, because they didn't. They used the law. They used executive orders under COVID mandates to allow paper ballots to be sent out in masses to non-registered voters, which is a solicitation of votes, which is not illegal. It's against the Constitution, but not when you order it through a judge under emergency powers. It then does not become illegal. They held the Constitution hostage. I have said this, but see, you guys only hear one thing: stolen. Just like left hears insurrection when they think of January 6th. And they're so freaking cocooned around that one word that anyone says anything different is challenging their feeble little attempts. And if I don't say stolen, you sit here and go, oh, you've never listened. Of all the years or months or whatever it has been that you've listened, you've never truly listened. Because I have never denied that this election was unconstitutional.
Right.
I simply said it wasn't stolen. Because stolen is a crime, and there was a theft that took place. But there's no precedence of this. There's no precedence of what the Democrats did. And instead of embracing that and realizing and listening to my points and trying to prove them wrong, I'm going to give you $10,000 for you to do it. $10,000 cash. I'll send it right to PayPal. You know what? I'll gross it up. I'll pay 25% of your taxes. I'll give you $12,500. I'll even gross it up for you. Call my show right now. Get on and prove to me how I'm lying or I'm wrong. And you tell me how the election was stolen. Liv, is that okay?
Sure, because she's not going to be able to do it. And she won't.
It was hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots. Oh, now you're going to use now you're using my story. You guys weren't saying that too. You said it was Dominion servers. You said it was George Soros. You said it was water pipes. You said it was 2,000 mules. You guys said it was geocaching. You guys said it was watermarked ballots. Now you're going to use mine? Really? No, you have watched my show.
I need to chime in here and just tell Karen, same thing that we told Dawn earlier. Please go back and watch some of their earlier videos because this has been, and I didn't wash my hair today. Somebody said maybe I did not.
Your hair
I'm
looks
like,
good.
it's like all matted down to my head. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. No, but please go watch one of the hundreds of shows that we've done on this specific topic because I literally, I'm like brain dead over this topic now. Like it's been done. We've talked about it a million times. It's like, please don't make me do this again.
We're not going to do the election. I'm just telling you, I'm $12,500. It's on the table.
Yeah.
You just said I was wrong. You just said it again. It wasn't the voting machines, but the paper programs, and people blaming the voting machines is like blaming guns for shoot. You're not. $12,500, Karen. This is all speculative. Everything you're saying. Yeah. You don't even know. Okay, so tell me this. What month, what year were paper ballots approved for the 7 indecisive states or the possible up for grabs states in the 2020 election? Please specifically tell me what pieces of legislation were actually proposed by House legislators for the states to change the election law. Please cite those to me. Please tell me how much funding Donald Trump wanted to take away from Nancy Pelosi's request to expand the USPS for the amount of ballots that were going to be coming into the United States. And why did he want to do that?
Karen said, let me get all my facts together so I can speak.
No, you don't have any. You got now. You called me. You said I was wrong. You're calling me a liar. You don't get to go. My facts are ready. I'm locked and loaded, sister. $12,500 fucking dollars, Karen. You challenge me and call out my word and my credibility, and you don't have the stones to pick up the phone and call me and give me one fact. Yeah, you're just like everybody else, Karen.
All right, can I say something?
Yeah, you can say something here. I'll flip it to you right now. There you go, Liv. Go for it.
Can we please, for the love of God, stop talking about stolen election?
Yes, thank you.
I have only been on the show for a little over a month, and I'm already sick of it. I can only imagine how Matt is feeling and how Amy's feeling because they've been doing this for over 2 years.
You know what? Winning never gets old.
Oh.
So, all right, last thing, and then I'll stop. Karen says, if it was unconstitutional, why wouldn't that be fraud? That's a great question. Let me tell you. It's called precedent. Murder wasn't illegal until it was. Blue-collar crime wasn't illegal until it was. Gerrymandering wasn't illegal until it was.
Right.
Gun trafficking, sex trafficking, embezzlement, bribery, burglary wasn't illegal until it was. There's never been anything done like this. COVID hasn't happened before. The only thing that we have close to it is Spanish flu, and there was no major election in that year. 1918, I believe. 1908, one of the two. No, 18. It doesn't matter. Wasn't a major election, and they didn't shut down any of the voting that was done. It was done very differently back then. And the states didn't go ahead and change through judges. By the way, there was no legislation because the state legislature, it's a trick question. It's unconstitutional because the state legislature writes laws. Judges go ahead and overall enforce and interpret those laws. They have no right to write state legislation unless they're given emergency granted power. Where did that declaration come from? Where did that power come from for the states to do that? You answer that question and you'll have your answer. It's not unconstitutional because there's nothing in the Constitution about locking down and sending out mass ballots during an emergency situation when the American public can't vote. It does specifically say that at all costs, voting should continue at all costs. Even during war or blizzard or any type of situation that would stop the American people from expressing their voice, the vote should be cast, even if large portions of the country can't. At all costs, we should vote. If you don't have precedent, you don't have a crime. That's why the SCOTUS is going to be hearing this over the next 30 to 45 days and hopefully make a ruling that judges can no longer alter state elections, that it has to be run through the legislature and through an emergency piece of legislation. All right, I've had enough for tonight. I offered you $12,500 to prove one thing. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying you're mistaken. If you tell somebody that they're wrong and not have any proof, and you repeatedly continue to do that after they've provided you proof for years on this subject and have become an expert on this subject, you're most assuredly questioning their credibility. You refuse to even say that I could be right. You're saying I'm completely wrong. So what would I be doing other than lying? If I'm completely wrong and telling you something that I'm still right, that's being dishonest. That's lying. Sorry. Semantics. Now who's being trivial and nitpicking? Call Karen. You should have done it. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to do one other thing, and I'm just going to show this because hopefully this will lighten the mood.
You should flip the camera.
I just like to look at you. You notice I'm staring at you the whole time? That's what it is. I'm sucking up. Suck up, pants.
Oh.
No, you just forgot. It has nothing to do with wanting
See,
to look
even
at me.
when I'm right,
Oh, golly.
I'm wrong.
Is this another baby video?
Oh, this is the United States Navy.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
And this is the U.S. Dude, I am so sick of the name. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Eagle Globe and Anchor and the American Eagle on the U.S. Navy logo is now a rainbow on their page.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pride. So this has been out the last few months, but I just want to show you a little bit of this. Merry Christmas. This is United States Navy. This is naval personnel. It's actually called Nav Speaks, but this is also endorsed by NAVPERS, which is naval personnel. We're going to go out on this, and then I want your comments. And we got away from the format tonight because I went into the comment section, and I shouldn't have, but you know what? Sometimes it's a fun show. I apologize to Amy. Look at Olivia. She's checked out. She's like leaning back.
No, I think I'm finally succumbing to what you and the kids got
All right,
the last couple days. My
we got
throat's
Diablo to
killing
play.
them.
No.
I know. My throat's killing me, and I'm just like...
All right, you need to suck it up, Buttercup, because
Do I ever drink tea?
we have to go to the lower denizens of hell. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Johnny, and I use he, him pronouns.
Hi, and I'm Conchi, and I use she, her pronouns.
And we're here to talk about pronouns.
What is a pronoun? A pronoun is how we identify ourselves apart from our name, and it's also how people refer to us in conversations.
Using the right pronouns is a really simple way to affirm someone's identity. It
Wait,
is a
time
signal
out for a
of
second.
acceptance and respect.
If it's a
Yes.
Is this a new video or is this the same exact video they put out a year ago?
Oh, it wasn't a year. It was
Oh,
like
whatever it
6
was.
minutes. But we got the full one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Cindy, that's exactly what you need to say. In my opinion, you are wrong. Great. No facts, not one little piece of evidence. It's just my opinion. Great. Just like people who believe in Santa Claus. Totally fine. I will never come after a person who has an opinion. I wish everyone would say it that way. In my opinion, I think you're right. Great. That's fine. Opinion that's your emotion. It has nothing to do with fact. Totally cool. I love that. But there's not people saying that. Let's listen to the rest.
signal of acceptance and respect, how do we go about creating a safe...
Hold on. You know what? Fine. We don't need to watch this, Amy.
What?
If you remember this. Don Bradley says, hey, Olivia, is Matt ever wrong?
We can watch it. I wasn't saying not to.
We've seen it before. We've seen it before. I don't care. Olivia, is Matt ever wrong?
Yeah, he's wrong a lot, but
A lot?
extremely, very rarely on this show. When it comes to politics, no. When it comes to arguments with me, yes. Are you speechless right now, dear?
No, I just
Holy
don't, I don't
shit.
understand what I've been wrong about, but I think we're talking about the show, but that's fine.
In our personal lives, yes.
Okay,
But
so-
on the show, very, very rarely.
Amy, your overall thoughts, if your son comes to you in 10 years, well, 8, 9,
9.
Something like 9,
Right.
comes to you and says, hey, Mom, I want to join the military. What do you think?
I would ask him which branch he would like to join first.
I want to join the Navy, Mom.
I would say we need to have a sit down with Mr. Matt and Leroy.
Yeah. We need to go to the Planned Parenthood kid and schedule
Right.
or the clinic and schedule our abortion.
You know what? My son, he talks about the military with such
Does he?
wide eyes. Oh gosh, yes. He's 9, and I'm like, great. When you're old enough for the junior ROTC, like I'm gonna put you in it so you can get like a taste of it, because I don't think he would be cut out for it at this point. But I think my son is very tough, and he could be. Like, I think he's a perfect candidate for the military, honestly. But as a mom, I don't want him to be in there, of course. But I'm not gonna hold him back. I'm hoping by the time he's old enough to make that decision, our military will be what it used to be. I mean, my father was in the military, but he was drafted in, and so he doesn't have the fondness that other people do. Not that he regrets serving his country. He's very proud, but he doesn't talk about it. He has not a lot of positive things to say about his service. But my son is very intrigued by it. He loves all the movies and he loves it all. So,
real quick, I want people to lighten up on Karen. Karen has every right to think whatever she wants, but if Karen challenges my thought process, that's fine. I want people to challenge my thought process. The question is why aren't you challenging Rudy Giuliani's? Why aren't you questioning Donald Trump's? Why aren't you questioning anybody who says A, B, and C? Dinesh D'Souza. Why me? Why the guy who has a track record of being right? The guy who isn't paid to tell you bullshit or trying to sell you a movie behind a paywall for $29.95. That's my question. If you're why don't you challenge everyone else as much as you challenge me? Because that's what I do. I challenge everybody. I would ask you to ask yourself that question. And if you could actually sit and have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, well, why? Matt's right. Why do I question Matt so hard? Because he says what I disagree with. Why don't I question the people who are telling me something different? Because in the end, you shouldn't believe me. You should go and research and find out information for yourself. That's what you should do. Amy, did you hear the snafu? Now I change it. Where I called Olivia Amy 4 times the other night.
No. What day was that?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, you've been on with me for 2.5 some odd years, okay? And I don't even know how it's long. But the whole thing is, I kept saying, hey, Leroy and Amy and I, and Olivia's over here, and she goes, I'm not Amy. And I'm like, oh. And then somehow it came around. She's like, do I need to be worried? Are you guys having an affair? And I'm just like,
he called me Amy like 5 times on the show, so I had to give him shit.
At the end, I'm like, all right, and from Amy, Leroy, and Matt, we appreciate. And then it was playing on the ad, and then I came back and turned her camera on, and she's like this, just scowling at me. She's all pissed off. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. This is the last live show. You should go watch it.
Yeah, I will, because I haven't. Well, and Olivia's been on, like, especially lately. Like, I feel like I'm never on anymore. I feel like such a loser.
No, you and Leroy have been going through a lot, and that's like Leroy tonight. He had his wife's birthday, and then he did some family stuff in Ohio, so he couldn't be on tonight. And then Amy was nice enough to be on tonight, and here we are all together having a conversation. Folks, tonight, if you would not mind, stop over by thedumbshow.com, pick yourself up some coffee, pick yourself up a shirt, a hat. Olivia's wearing grunt style. I need to get her some more shirts. But if you have a chance, go stop by. You can use code DUMB10 and save 10%. We will be off tomorrow. I think Olivia and I both need a day off. We're tired, don't feel very well. And we're going to play some Diablo. Amy, what are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
Yeah, I mean, we're just having people over tomorrow. No, nothing fancy. I'm just going to make some Mexican food, and I'm making Mexican and Italian because that's all I can make well. So anyone who wants to come over for lunch, we're going to go hang out.
Mexalian?
I don't know. I just was like, oh, well, tacos are easy to make and kids like those. And then I'm making like bruschetta and like more adult, like Italian type, like pasta tray. So yeah, come on by. It's nothing fancy. Don't get excited. And the kids are hopefully going to hang out in the creek, and the adults can just hang out and do.
Can someone explain to me the name antipasta? Doesn't that make no sense?
I know, right?
Antipasto.
Maybe
even if it is, isn't it all? If you're anti-pasta, should that mean no pasta? And every antipasta is pasta.
I don't know.
As far as I know, it's not pasta.
Yeah.
Isn't antipasta like
the not pasta? It's anti-pasta, so you would have. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm just having.
I thought antipasta, like when it's at Safeway and stuff, and it's all those green and white noodles that. With bell pepper in it. It's pasta.
I thought antipasta was like the meats and cheeses and veggies.
Like olives
and
lasagna has. Okay, please tell me in Italian. Here we go. It's just like cake and pie. It's just like cake and pie. Please tell me a Italian dish that doesn't have meat, cheese, or sauce on it, please. Educate me.
There isn't one. I'm trying to
No,
think.
Karen. Hold on, time out. Ladies, at any time did I say, please tell me what Donald Trump did in office? Did I say that?
No.
Never. Karen, I don't know what to tell you. I've defended you. I told you can have an opinion. You're wrong. Okay? I said, please tell me how he began to dismantle the swamp in any way, shape, or form with specifics. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay. Antipasta, we're probably saying it wrong, but it's like the hors d'oeuvres. It's before pasta. So
I was just looking that up. Antipasta.
Makes
no
sense.
Pasta. Consisting olives, anchovies, cheese, meats, and stuff. Yeah. No pasta.
Yeah. So really? I'm doing that in Mexican food. Because
why do Italians need to be so damn complicated? Why can't they just say food without noodles?
Yeah. We're not having noodles.
Okay, so antipasta is actually just everything like bruschetto,
yeah,
prosciutto or whatever that's called, and like olives and cheese and shit like that. So cheese sticks.
Cheese sticks. I'm making bruschetta.
What if you have cheese sticks with meat sauce? Are you breaking them? Is that pasta? Does it have to physically have pasta in it?
I don't know. I'm
so confused.
It's the hors d'oeuvre.
You're telling me to F off. What? I'm not an Italian. I don't know this stuff. All right. I'm doing final minutes. We're popping smoke. I'm doing final minute. Amy, get your final minute in. Go.
Final minute. Yeah. Thanks for, again, I feel like I'm always like thanking everyone for being understanding that I'm not around. It's not that I don't want to be around. I keep saying I'm going to get back on to social media. And I will at some point. I'm kind of waiting to figure out some things legally before I jump back in, but I do miss everybody. And I can do this for now, but we'll see. I don't know. Just thanks for everyone's patience. It's good to see everybody. I miss everybody. So
is it called prosciutti?
It's prosciutto,
right?
Prosciutto. What did I say? Presidio. See, I did the Army Presidio. I don't know. I don't do Italian. I can do chicken parm.
Somebody just said antipasto means before the meal. So,
so it's another language. Okay. Another language. So it's not pasta. It's not antipasta. It's just it's Italian for before the meal. I see.
And I probably used the wrong word. I don't even know. I'm just having hors d'oeuvres in Mexican. If you want to come over, come over. Anyone who's local is welcome to come over. Nothing fancy.
Is it going to be anti-nacho Mexican?
We're having
anti-nacho.
We're having all the chips. Queso.
Did you know every single Mexican food is just the same?
Yeah, it's all just rearranged differently.
A taco is just an enchilada, or a taco is just a tostada, and a tostada is just a soft, or a burrito that with a soft shell. I mean, it's all the same shit, just organized differently. It's like one dish. It's like kind of like all Bon Jovi music.
Yeah. But you guys have not been to Casa yet. You guys have to go there.
Excuse me.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went the next day after one of these games.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Good. I hope you got the cochinitas. Because it was...
I got enchiladas.
I got a carne asada burrito. Someone says, Karen, it doesn't even matter if you're right. You still get to be wrong. That's not true. If Karen had evidence, I'd give her $12,500. You guys think I'm lying? Do you know what that would do? I would never be so happy to be wrong. That video would go to 3 or 4 million hits. And that's the best advertising in the world. If I was wrong, go, hey, I want one of my viewers. I made a challenge. I was arrogant. I said I knew something. I didn't. I gave him $12,500. That would go viral. Millions of people would see it. So I'm just waiting for someone to actually do it. You can't, because you don't have any evidence. What you have is an inkling. You have an understanding, but you're missing the obvious trite, and we'll do that some night, but it's not going to be tonight. Olivia, last word. Go get them, kiddo.
Can we please stop talking about stolen election?
Listen to me. This is a political show, so no. We fucking can't. Because they're still talking about it. And until they stop talking about it, I am going to continue to talk about it. If you don't want to be on the show, anybody, don't. Just pop smoke and get off the show. But stop saying don't talk about it, because I will always talk about things that are uncomfortable, because I think this is one of the biggest lies that America is following right now. And it's just as bad that as Democrats actually care about minorities. I think people have done horrendous shit over this election thing. And I think they need to understand it's destroying the integrity of our election system. And I believe truly that we can make change. Otherwise, you and I wouldn't have got Youngkin as governor. You, me, and the other people who did it.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear that all elections are stolen, because you know what they don't do? They don't challenge the fucking Republicans that did win in the Senate, and they don't challenge the 2016 results. They only challenge the results they lose. You know who that sounds like? Fucking liberals. And guess what? You guys have that in common. I don't, because I don't talk like a liberal. But you call me a rhino when you say something I disagree with. So no, I'm not going to stop talking about the election, Liv. So that's not the way this works. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. All right, everybody. Don't Unfriend Me has been brought to you by PFC Flags. Amy, thanks for being on. We love you. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We love having you on. It's the greatest thing in the whole world. Are you going to be able to make Monday with us?
Unless barring something crazy happening, yes, I will be here. Yeah.
Awesome. Olivia, are you going to be with us? You're grumpy because you're sick and you don't feel well. I can tell, and you're ready to punch out. So I'm going to let Olivia go because she's going to yell and take it out on me. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. Do me a favor, if you would not mind, stop by the PFC Flag Company at pfcflags.com. The wooden flags you see behind us are made by Jason and Katie. They are amazing. Please go check them out. While you are there, pick up a flag and get something from pfcflags.com. And you can also go to the Don't Unfriend Me show. God bless, and that's it. Have a good night. We'll see you later. Veteran Crisis Hotline is going now. See you, Amy. Love you, buddy.
Night, y'all.
Good night, guys.
Good
Feel
night.
better, Olivia. Bye.
David Boyd,
Yes,
honest with
ma'am.
the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call